Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, I want to discuss an issue today which is very relevant in our days and age and has been one of the most important dividing factor in the history. And it is something which is very inherent to the instincts. And the problem which I want to address is known as racism or a racial superiority, or taking pride in the place of birth. Sometimes it also leads to nationalism. The magnitude of this problem can be understood by the fact that one of the most persecution which is happening across the world is happening just because of this xenophobia, or it is happening because of the nationalistic identity based on the place of birth, or in a kind of society of birth. So, for example, if we take the situation of country, India, we can understand that there is something known as Dalits. Now, Dalits are one of the most persecuted minority. Sometime a bridegroom has been taken off from the horse just because of the fact that he was not supposed to ride horse, because that's a kind of symbol of aristocracy or royalness, which actually is reserved for higher caste. So he is not eligible for that, and that's why he is or she is gets punished. He gets punished. Similarly, there are many other incidents like why they were taking a procession, meaning barat, something which they do for marriage. They have been targeted for that. They have been targeted for entering into the temple or even coming close to temple. They have been targeted just for the fact that they are trying to drink water from the place where higher caste people also drink. There's a huge history of this, but the point is, in 2020 we are discussing about this, but still this problem is, I think, as good as it was or as bad as it was in the past. So this is the problem of just one problem of India. If we take the problems across the world, we will see World War I happening because of Germany having a belief that they are superior in race. This same, in fact, Aryan supremacy is also what is underplaying in India. If we talk about the World War II, again, it's a superiority issue. If we talk about white supremacist or white burden, they have the burden to take the world because they think that they are more evolved. So this racism is not just happening because of the place of birth and instinct, but it is also happening because of some concept which was launched in recent years or recent centuries, like Darwin theory, which says that you are evolved, and that actually kind of makes a spectrum of humans where they say that some people are more evolved, meaning white people are more evolved and black people are less evolved. Brown are kind of in medium, and they have even divided the development of the nation according to the color of the people. So it is thoughts, it is the place of birth, and I just forgot to mention the instinctual aggression. Instinctual aggression meaning there is an instinct in human being which is called survival instinct, and that instinct is always threatened, and that can be even seen most prominently among animals. So every animal has its own area where if another animal try to intrude, he feels or it feels that their territorial integrity is being threatened, and they become aggressive. This happens with almost every animal. They have some area where they feel that is their area, and if anybody intrudes, they get ready to fight. One more example, if you see some dogs, most of the time you might see this, because whenever a dog crosses the boundary, they have the boundaries, and the boundaries is made by urinating the places, and they feel that is their boundary, because they have a very good sense of smell. Through that they recognize that these are their boundaries. So whenever a dog from another boundary comes to their boundary, they feel threatened. They feel that their land is being taken up or taken over, or somebody is intruding from outside, and they just start barking. And that do not limits to barking, sometimes they even fight. Now this is a very animalistic instinct among animals, and that is there with us as well, because of course they call it social animal or higher animals of higher strata, but the point is we also have the similar instincts and organic needs. except that we have been given a mind that actually recognizes our purpose of creation and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and things like this, meaning we can have understanding of the Sharia, understanding of the reality of the world. We have been blessed with brain, ability to speak, ability to express, plan, things like this. So of course we are different, but still at the end of the day we are also having the same instinct and organic needs. And this is the very, what you call, most important or vital reason to make humans supremacist, to make them racial. After the World War II, when the nations divided and this nation states came in being, of course they came in being earlier, but then a lot of more development happened and a lot of more country came after that, and they became kind of so-called independent, and then they all have their own identity, and these identity were entrenched by the system, the capitalist system. And because of these beliefs, I mean, nobody would say that it is wrong. Everybody supports these kind of nationalistic states. But what is the result out of it? The result is mass migration. Result is xenophobia. A lot of people fear that their resources are being eaten by those people who don't belong to that place. And that is why they are targeted. So result is this xenophobia. The result is a racial slur, hatred. Why Muslims are being targeted in India? Just because they are being said that they came from Arab, they came from outside, they are outsiders. Aryans, who themselves came from Iran, are now they are the origins. And the Dravidians, which were the actually rulers of this country, they were pushed to the south of India. So this whole discussion is actually useless discussion of meaning who came from where, is because you never had a control of your birth to the place you want to take. So for example, if I born in India, I take pride in India, but had I was born in Bangladesh, I would take pride in being Bangladeshi, or Indonesian, or Malaysian, or Australian. But the same Australian person can born in India. Yani we never had a control on something. And when you don't have a control on something, how can you take pride on that? If you really build something, that I built a big car, or a genuine software, or a mobile, or invented something, you can take a pride on that because you did that. Although pride is not a good thing, but still, talking into this context, you may take pride in that fact. But how can you take pride in the fact that you're born in a place where you had no control on that? You are weak. Had you been left in that place without any taking care, you would have died. So we are weak. We never had a control of birth to a place where we are born. So how can we take pride on something which we have no control on? With some of the religions, so for example, Jews have the belief that they are superior race. They are the chosen people. Again creating racism. Similarly, some religions like Hinduism says that they are four varna, or four color. In fact, the very word they use is the color, the caste system. So this problem exists everywhere, and I think probably 1/4 of all the problems which are facing the humanity and the main reasons for most of the problems of the humanity comes from this racial superiority. Now, what is the solution? So one-stop solution is Islam. And this is because Islam never recognizes the superiority. In fact, it stops it. So for example, in Quran, Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nas, inna khalaqnakum min zakarin wa untha, وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعْرَفُوا إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. That, O people, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing not only Muslims but to the humanity. O people, I created you all from a man and from a woman, meaning Adam and Hawa alayhi salam. وَجَعَلْنَا شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ, and made you in different tribes. Why? Sometimes people justify this word شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ, meaning tribes, as if it's advisable to become a tribe and they're proud of that identity. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this is for your identity. Identity as say, so I use the same word for both the purposes, but let's understand there's a difference. So when I say created you as an identity to recognize each other, so that person belongs to Palanpur, this person belongs to Gorakhpur, this person belongs to. So, this is for the place of the birth or in the kind of tribe one is born into. But when somebody start taking pride into that fact that we are from chosen people, or we are from Arabs, or we are from America, or we are from Russia, then it becomes a problem. Taking pride into that fact. So Allah says, and then Allah clarifies that the best among you are those who are best in God consciousness, meaning in taqwa, in taking care of the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in whatever you do. That you do according to what Allah says and you stop doing for what Allah stops. And the one who is best in doing this practice is the one who is best with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in the hadith, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in his last sermon of Hajj, or you can say sermon of Hajj or last sermon, he says this very important thing. It was kind of a parting discussion which Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam did for the Ummah. And he said, no Arab is superior to a non-Arab. Nor a non-Arab is superior to Arab. So that actually closes everything. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says that it is not sufficient for people to understand. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam even elaborates on that not a black person is better than a white person, neither a white is better than a black. And the best among you are those, again the same thing, those who have the best of morals or best of the God consciousness, meaning taqwa. This is the formula of bringing peace in this world, prosperity in this world, because this actually solves the main problem. Islam doesn't believe in the issue of boundaries. Islam doesn't believe in the issue of evolution. It's solved by this solution that you are not evolved. You are born from a male and female. That means everybody in this whole world is from one man and one female. Second problem which is coming through the fact that we have Varna race. Again, it is not possible because Islam says there is no Varna, there is no color, rather everybody is same. The third thing, again, the Jews, they say that we are a chosen race. Islam doesn't believe in something like chosen race. Everybody is from the same Adam alayhi salam. So the concept of chosen race also goes in vain. And the concept of instinctual superiority, meaning territorial aggression, territorial superiority based on the instinct, survival instinct that this is our area and we have to survive in that area. That is also solved very easily is because Islam gives you a mind and says that it is for recognition and not for taking pride in that. And pride in itself is made haram. Although some may say that the Arabs do have this problem of racial superiority. I agree. But this is not Islam. They are not following Islam. And they will be accounted for what they are doing. They give more salary to their employees, Arabs, and they give less salary to the Ajam, non-Arabs, which is a very wrong thing, and I think it is most likely a prohibited action. But they are doing. But this is not Islam, and this is not what I am proposing. It is true that they also believe in nation states, which is not from Islam. Islam doesn't believe in boundaries. So you can understand that this problem is because of some Muslims who are not following Islam, and it is not the problem of Islam itself. So this is important to understand. So I think probably I have made my point that Islam is the solution for this racial problem, and Islam only can solve this racial problem which is happening all across the globe these days. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.